This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
All right.
All right. Hey. 16th of August, 2020. This is the 217 Recovery Podcast. My name is Corey Winfield. I'm the host. Co-host is Marnie Liston. Marnie, welcome.
Hey there, Sunday fun day.
Yeah. So, if this is the first time you're ever listening to the podcast, 217 Recovery Podcast, 217 was the room I was in. And last time I was in treatment, we had good talks in that room, and we played a lot of games. We had a lot of fun. People started referring to us as the 217 guys, and, you know, that's just those 217 games that those guys play, and those guys are crazy. Yeah, we are. So that's how I got the name 217. It has nothing to do with the area code that's in Illinois, nothing to do with that. It's just that was the room that I learned a lot about myself in. And this is a place where you can hopefully learn a lot about yourself through what I go through and what Marnie goes through. And as we walk through early recovery, I had 20 months. I just got that technically sort of yesterday. Yeah, good. Yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre, everybody at Death Row Records, for making this all possible. But no, for real. So it's coming up on 2 years, December 15th, which will be fun. Marnie, you're coming up on a year in, 14 days?
Yeah, end of this month.
Yeah. So my question to you is, when I was going through, obviously, my first year, I was going to meetings. I was living a sober living. I had to go to 5 meetings a week. And I went to way more than that. I found meetings to be fun. You, on the other hand, you get out, you're going to meetings because you went to treatment. You got out of treatment, you're going to meetings. You get a job, a pretty meaningful job with a lot of purpose. It filled you with a lot of purpose. And, you know, as a treatment center, and you were helping women, you know, kind of find their way. And you notice, kind of like me, there's some cracks in the system, and, you know, people could use a helping hand here and there, and you're going above and beyond, and you're rewarded. Now you actually got a promotion in your career. So things are going great for you. But in March, you know, when everything started going haywire, and then April, meetings just shut down. That was a big part, like I said, of my early recovery, was going to meetings. And how do you think that affected you? And I know working at a treatment center, it doesn't really take the place of a meeting, but it kind of does. You're talking recovery a lot.
Yeah, I definitely would say that my meeting attendance went down big time when the COVID thing hit. For everybody, it did. I did take advantage of the Zoom meetings for a while. I was tuning into those quite a bit. For that short period that I was off of work, but yeah, I found that, and I'm not saying that my job takes the place of meetings. It doesn't. In fact, I probably, now that you pointed it out, should probably take more responsibility in getting myself back into the Zoom meetings, or trying to make it to the meetings that have opened up, that are being held outside in parks, and I believe the beaches here in Traverse City. There are a few places that have AA and NA meetings throughout the week. But yeah, because my job is so recovery focused, I do feel like I'm kind of like in the midst of talking about recovery, talking about being positive, having a positive attitude about recovery, helping others, you know, deal with daily living in early recovery. So it is a big part of my life, you know. So I do feel like that is kind of filled in a way. But I do need to be careful. I need to tread lightly, you know, just like anybody else in their program, you know, as long as you keep that, you know, I refer to it as like my recovery tank or whatever. I think there's a way to look at it to make sure that stays full enough that, you know, I can function and feel good about myself and feel solid. and, not get to that weird squirrely spot that some of us can get to where, you lose sight of what you're doing and get complacent. And I don't feel that way at all today. So, that being said, it's not an excuse for not going to meetings. I probably need to pick up that piece a little bit more. Thanks for pointing that out, Corey.
No, well, I'm just saying, and, we're so busy, and you're doing a podcast, you're writing a blog. I mean, like you say, you call it a recovery tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a good way to look at it, because you're still, even though you're not at a meeting, you're still expressing your feelings to me often through your blogs, some of the things that are going on in your head that you probably would maybe talk about at a meeting, maybe not. Mm-hmm. But I think that there's so much stuff going on that it's just like, okay. Now, that probably doesn't work for a lot of people. And maybe if you were, living Marnie's schedule or my schedule, maybe you would say, wow, that's a lot of recovery. Mm-hmm. Maybe you would kind of see it too. But it's very important, in my opinion, for people in early recovery to have that structure. And you kind of said it too, like you get complacent and you're, oh, okay, well, I missed a meeting. Oh, yeah, well, I really don't like the Zoom meetings, which is the worst thing I've ever heard. I mean, I can understand you don't feel a part of the room, but make yourself a part of the room.
Yeah.
Talk. Mm-hmm. Comment after everybody. Take notes.
Raise your hand. They have that little click button.
You can control that. Mm-hmm. Don't let a Zoom meeting. You can leave rooms, go to a different one. Like, there's so many different things that you have control over to make that meeting not suck. And you still are like, oh, I don't like it, man. I just don't get. Well, do something about it, man. And that way, you at least can set up some structure in your life. Go Friday night. Say, you know what? I have 3 hours to kill. All right, cool. Find a meeting. Go do it on the regular.
Yeah.
You will make friends in there. Just because they're not in the same room. And it could be in California. It could be anywhere in the world. There, you can find a meeting online. And some of them have gotten a little bit, not more scarce, but not as full. Which, hey, that's cool. You don't need 500 people to make a meeting.
Right.
And my advice, though, like I said, to just make the meetings not suck. Do it yourself. Make the meetings not suck yourself. Take notes if you have to, but make sure you're scheduling some kind of structure. And there are meetings around town, at least in Traverse City. I don't know about the rest of America, but there are meetings happening, and sometimes they're outside. Some are doing them inside again too, which is cool. But just find a place, and if it's that once a week meeting, hey, that's better than 0 times a week, and maybe you can stretch it into a couple times a week. A guy I was just talking to the other day, he's from the same area where I'm from, Southwest Michigan, and he was talking about the meetings around there, and around Coloma, Watervliet, you can kind of bounce around from here to there, and it's not that bad. Coloma, Watervliet, they're small towns. I mean, it took me longer to get from one side of Fort Smith, Arkansas to the other side of Fort Smith, Arkansas than it would to drive from Stevensville, Michigan to Coloma, and people are like, man, that's so far. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a 20-minute drive, bro. Not bad. Like, you don't need I don't know. Some people just are so used to everything being boom, 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 boom right there, and it's really not that bad, but go that extra mile, hit those other meetings. And when I lived in Buchanan is a great city for recovery. They have a club there that's open. They have 2 meetings a day.
Right.
It doesn't matter if it's Christmas. I mean, you can always go, hey, it's 10 a.m. I'm going to go to the club. Mm-hmm. On Dewey Street.
Yeah. Like, I think a lot of cities have the L&O Club. I think that is a common place that has meetings usually from 8 o'clock to sometimes to like midnight meetings. Mm-hmm. I know Traverse City used to, the one that they had functioned like that, and also Ann Arbor when I lived down there. It's a very active location for meetings, open all the time, in between meetings too, for people that just need a place to hang out. They had a little coffee bar and such. So I'm not sure. Probably should look into that to see what their operational hours are like now, but I know they are open too for meetings. So, and I think that's a pretty common thing to look into. And man, I love Google. You type in Google stuff and you can find whatever, wherever. about recovery meetings that are open, now. And, usually it'll connect you just a phone number. You know what I mean? Or if it's not on the website already, right there, if it's updated, I can't say right now, but I haven't checked it out. Yeah, and usually you can download their schedule or it's right there to look at. And yeah.
I've been burnt by Google so many times.
Yeah, but I mean, more often than not, you're probably...
Maybe it's 50-50. I mean, I've been burnt a lot.
50-50, no
yeah,
way.
I've shown up to meetings that online it said this time. I show up and it's all women's meeting. And I'm like, ugh. And that, could be... That was at the Charlevoix.
That's because your district's not updating your stuff.
I don't know.
It's not Google.
But
don't be hanging on Google.
Or I show up and the meeting's just getting over. I'm like, what the heck? Oh, yeah, we moved it. I don't know. Or the number nobody ever... I don't know. I've never had that good of luck, but... I don't know. It's worth a shot, that's for sure. And if I have to cross-reference different websites to get the same time, then that's cool. But it's just a little bit of effort, though.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to tell people not to use Google. I mean, for sure, use it. And, maybe I'm just too old. I don't know. No, but just do what you need to do to get to a meeting. I would advise that. And, for especially the first year you're in early recovery, I keep seeing guys fall off, man. And it's just, I don't know. I don't know what they're missing or what they don't want in life. But clearly it's, something. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I can't save anybody. I mean, they have to do it themselves. And if there's something they're missing, hopefully they can figure it out. And,
You know what I found, which is interesting, is just from me and being in my job, is they'll be like, I'll run across within the same hour and 4 or 5 different houses, 4 or 5 different people that are like, I'm like, how's your day going? Blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, I'm bored, So these are 4 and 5 different people who have nothing to do, who most likely would have a chance to go to a meeting. I'm like, you should have a meeting. So all these people are sitting in different spots wanting to go to a meeting. It's like, you should go to meeting with other people. There you go. There's a meeting right there almost. But yeah, to make a connection. And I've worked on that. I've actually done that, figured out, hey, blah, blah, blah from, this place is looking to go to a meeting too. And, whatever, getting numbers to each other and make that connection. And, they're on their way. So it does happen.
Yeah. And when I lived in Sober Living, it was great. I had a bunch of dudes, and all I needed was a couple to be, tight with, and we hit meetings all the time. It was fun. I'd get home from work, and, I'd be tired or whatever, but it's like, all right, we go to this meeting this night, we go to this meeting the other night, and we'd show up, and people would, again, look at me, and they go, oh, Corey's here. Mm-hmm. And I didn't care. I like that, like, okay, I make an impact on that guy. And then slowly but surely they would start to understand, like, oh, okay, these guys are just, having fun. They like to smile, they like to laugh, and it's a good time. But this Wednesday I'm going to a Charlevoix meeting, so I'm pretty pumped about that. It's been quite a while since I've been to one there, and those meetings are always good. I really like them. Mm-hmm. And they give you like a cool welcome coin too. At least they did. If that's even the meeting I'm going to, I got to get a hold of Tom. Anyway, yeah, it's a little personal stuff there. But the Google app, or the app on Google for 217 Recovery, I don't know if it's almost done, but I got an email today saying that 217 Recovery is now being rated in the Google Play Store. So I was like, oh my gosh, it's already there, and I just submitted it the other day. So I pull it up, I get out your other phone that's an Android, and I pull it up, and no, nothing. But it could be up there now. By the time you're listening to this, you can go to the Google Play Store.
Yeah.
Search 217
Just a matter
Recovery.
of time.
Yeah. Or I don't know when you're listening to this, but you can even go to the Apple Store. The App Store in, not the Apple Store, but the App Store in Apple, and search for us there too. You never know. Could be there already.
It will be there at some point.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of time. And put the stuff through, and we're just waiting.
It looks good.
You think so?
I think